grand tale of Sir Blaise, Lady Aurora, and the magnificent Zaffre. In a land far beyond the horizon, where the sun kissed the edge of the world, there was a place called Luster Vale. This was a land of rolling hills covered in the softest green grass, where the flowers sang with the morning dew, and the rivers flowed with a melody that whispered peace to all who listened. High above its serene fields, a swift sparrow named Flit flew with urgency. Her wings sliced through the air, each beat a testament to her mission, as she searched for Nimble, the clever chipmunk, who was the keeper of secrets in the realm of the Sandman, a mystical being renowned for granting sleep to the sleepless. Flit found Nimble perched on an ancient oak in the Whisperwoods, a place where even the trees spoke in hushed tones, sharing secrets of the earth and sky. The air here was always cool, filled with the gentle rustle of leaves and the soft murmur of life. Nimble, I've come from Luster Vale, Flit chirped breathlessly, her voice a mix of worry and haste. Nimble, with his bushy tail twitching with curiosity, replied, Luster Vale? That's beyond the whispering winds. Why do you seek the Sandman? His eyes sparkled with intrigue, for he had not heard from Luster Vale in many seasons. There's a new trouble in our town, Flit explained, her small chest heaving from the long flight. A creature like none we've seen before has arrived. A dragon, with scales like midnight and eyes like the moon. It's disrupted our peace, for it neither sleeps nor allows us to. Her words painted a vivid picture of the chaos that had befallen her home, where once there was laughter. Now there was only unrest and fear. Nimble's eyes widened in astonishment. A dragon, you say? I've only heard of them in tales. Dragons were creatures of legend, tales told by the fireside to scare or enchant children. But now, one was real, and with it came a challenge too great for the simple folk of Luster Vale. He scampered down the trunk and into the burrow beneath, where he shared Flit's news with the Sandman, who was always ready to lend a helping hand to those in need. The Sandman, with his long white beard and eyes twinkling with wisdom, listened intently. His home was cozy, lit by the gentle glow of fireflies and the soft light of a never-ending candle. He prepared his bag of magical sand, knowing this task would require more than his usual allotment. This will require much sand for a dragon's slumber, he mused, his voice calm, yet filled with determination. Together with Nimble, they sought the aid of two majestic eagles, Sky and Wind. Known for their strength and knowledge of the lands beyond, the eagles resided in the highest branches of the tallest trees, their nests woven from the clouds themselves. Upon hearing the call for aid, Sky screeched, "We know Luster Vale. We've soared above its fields after a great storm once." His voice was like thunder, resonating with the memory of the land he had seen. "And we know the way back," Wind added, her feathers catching the light in hues of dawn and dusk. "But to carry the Sandman and his sand, we will need the winds to be in our favor." With the eagle's agreement, the trio prepared for the journey. Flit, now relieved but still anxious, fluttered around, eager to lead the way back to Luster Vale, where her home and friends awaited salvation from the sleepless nights and the shadow of the dragon. Together, they would embark on a quest to restore peace, proven once again that even in the darkest times, hope and help could be found in the most unexpected of places. The journey to Luster Vale. The Sandman, perched precariously on Sky's back, clutched his bag of sand with a grip that spoke of both determination and the weight of his task. Nimble, smaller and more agile, rode on Wind's back, his tail streaming behind him like a banner of courage and curiosity. Flit, ever the guide, led the way, her wings a blur against the sky, her small form a beacon of hope for the journey ahead. Their journey was long and arduous, a true test of endurance and faith. They crossed vast plains where the wind howled like a banshee, its mournful cries echoing the loneliness of the land. They navigated treacherous mountain passes where the air grew thin and icy, each breath a struggle for warmth and oxygen. Over shimmering seas they flew, where the waters below danced with the reflections of the stars, yet hid giant squids that lurked in the depths, their eyes like lanterns in the dark abyss. Along this path of trials, they encountered other creatures in need, each encounter a lesson in compassion and the interconnectedness of all life. There was a lost fawn, its eyes wide with fear, separated from its herd. The Sandman, with a gentle whisper, lulled it into a dream where it found its way back home. A family of squirrels was trapped in a flooded cave, their tiny paws clawing at the water's edge. Nimble, with his quick mind, devised a plan using sticks and stones to lower the water level, freeing them to scamper into the safety of the trees. And then there was the wise old owl, perched on an ancient gnarled branch, who shared tales of forgotten gods and ancient prophecies, his words a tapestry of wisdom that enriched their understanding of the world and the task at hand. Finally, after weeks of travel that tested their resolve and spirit, they reached Luster Vale. The town, once a vibrant tapestry of color and sound, was now shrouded in an eerie silence that spoke of the dragon's reign. The once vibrant fields lay barren, the flowers wilted as if mourning the loss of joy, and the laughter of children had been replaced by a hushed, palpable fear that clung to the air like mist. Flit led them to the center of the town, where they found the dragon. It was a creature of nightmares, its scales shimmering like obsidian under the moonlight, its eyes burning with an eerie green glow that seemed to peer into one's very soul. It coiled around the base of the town's tallest tower, its fiery breath scorching the stone, leaving a trail of melted rock and despair. The townsfolk, huddled together for warmth and courage, watched in terror as the dragon roared, its voice echoing through the valley like thunder, a reminder of its dominion over their lives. They had tried everything to appease the beast, offering it their finest livestock, their most precious jewels, but nothing could satiate its insatiable hunger or quell its restless spirit. The Sandman, ever calm and collected, surveyed the scene with a wisdom that belied his small stature. "This is a powerful creature," he observed, his voice steady. "But even the mightiest dragon can be subdued by sleep." He climbed onto the dragon's back, his heart pounding against his ribs with the rhythm of duty and courage. The scales were rough and cold, not unlike the mountain passes they had crossed, and the dragon's breath, hot and foul, singed his beard, a reminder of the peril he faced. But he pressed on, determined to fulfill his duty to Luster Vale. Reaching the dragon's head, He carefully opened his bag of sand, the grains within glowing faintly with the magic of slumber. The dragon, sensing his presence, turned its massive head, its eyes narrowing into slits of suspicion. A low growl rumbled in its chest, shaking the ground beneath them, a sound of warning and might. The Sandman, without hesitation, sprinkled the magical sand into the dragon's eyes. The effect was instantaneous. The dragon's eyes widened in shock, then fluttered shut as if pulled down by the weight of the stars. Its head slumped to the ground with a thud that reverberated through the silent town, its body relaxing into a deep, peaceful slumber, its breath now a gentle whisper rather than a roar. A wave of relief washed over the townsfolk. They cheered and applauded, their fear replaced by gratitude and a burgeoning hope. The Sandman, exhausted but triumphant, climbed down from the dragon's back, his steps heavy with fatigue, yet light with accomplishment, and rejoined his companions. Their journey had not only saved Luster Vale, but had also woven their stories into the tapestry of legend, proving that even in the darkest nights, the light of bravery and compassion could prevail. The Dragon's Secret and the Whispering Woods. As the townsfolk celebrated their newfound peace, the air filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses in joyous toasts, the Sandman noticed something peculiar amidst this sea of relief. The dragon, though asleep, was still breathing heavily, its chest rising and falling in a rhythmic pattern that seemed almost too deliberate for a creature at rest. And every so often, a low, mournful groan would escape its lips, not the sound of anger or threat, but one of undeniable sorrow. Intrigued and sensing there was more to this story than met the eye, the Sandman decided to investigate. He crept closer to the dragon, his ears straining to hear the source of the groans through the jubilation around him. It wasn't until he reached the dragon's head, the scales cool under his touch, that he realized the groans were not coming from the dragon itself, but from something trapped within its throat, causing the creature evident distress. With a gentle touch, the Sandman reached into the dragon's mouth, his fingers delving carefully past the formidable teeth. What he pulled out was small, yet shimmering brightly, an object of beauty and magic. It was a necklace, intricately woven with moonstones and threads of starlight, and around its center, a single iridescent tear hung suspended, glowing with an ethereal light. The dragon stirred, its eyes fluttering open, revealing not the anger of a beast, but the relief of one who has finally found respite. It looked at the Sandman, its gaze soft and thankful. "Thank you," it whispered, its voice raspy and hoarse from the strain of the necklace. "You have freed me." The Sandman, astonished by this unexpected turn of events, realized that the dragon was not a mindless beast, but a creature of sorrow and pain, bound by forces beyond its control. "What is this necklace?" he inquired, holding up the item that had caused so much turmoil. The dragon, now fully awake, and the curse momentarily lifted, explained with a voice that seemed to carry the weight of many years. It was a gift from its mother, a powerful sorceress who had been imprisoned by a rival wizard, envious of her might. The necklace, infused with her magic, was meant to protect him from harm. However, the wizard's magic had also cursed the necklace, causing it to tighten around his throat, not just physically choking him, but filling his heart with rage and despair. I was not born to be a destroyer, the dragon confessed, its voice breaking. I only wanted to be free, to find my mother and break the curse that binds me to a life of pain and isolation. The Sandman, touched by the dragon's plight, felt a surge of purpose. He knew he couldn't leave the creature in this state. The land needed peace, and this dragon deserved freedom. He told the dragon about the Whisper Woods, a place where ancient wisdom resided, where the trees whispered secrets and the creatures knew of spells long forgotten. He suggested that the dragon seek the help of the wise old owl, known for its knowledge of magic, wizards, and the very fabric of the world itself. Perhaps this owl could offer guidance on how to find the wizard and break the curse. The dragon, its eyes now bright with hope, rather than the dim glow of despair, thanked the Sandman. "Your kindness has given me a chance I thought lost," it said, its voice now clear, the curse momentarily at bay. It thanked him and the townsfolk for their compassion, understanding that behind every act of destruction might lie a story of pain seeking redemption. With a newfound resolve, the dragon unfurled its mighty wings, its scales shimmering like starlight under the moon. It soared into the sky, leaving behind a trail of iridescent light, a symbol of freedom and the promise of a new beginning. The townsfolk watched in awe, their cheers turning into whispers of hope and tales of the Sandman's mercy and the dragon's journey to seek peace, not just for itself, but potentially for all affected by the curse. As the dragon disappeared into the distance, the Sandman felt a sense of fulfillment. He had not just brought sleep to a creature, but had sparked a journey of healing and redemption. The night was calm, the stars brighter perhaps, as Luster Vale settled into a peace that was now deeper, knowing that every story had layers, every beast its tale, and every act of kindness could change the course of destiny. The search for the wizard and the broken curse. The Sandman, Nimble, and Flit, accompanied by the grateful townsfolk, journeyed to the Whisper Woods. They found the wise old owl perched on a branch, his eyes twinkling with ancient wisdom. The owl listened patiently as the dragon's story was recounted. "The wizard you speak of," he said, "is known as Zaffre, a sorcerer of immense power but twisted ambition. He resides in the Shadow Towers, a fortress of obsidian that pierces the clouds." The Sandman, ever the adventurer, was eager to confront Zaffre and break the curse. He knew it would be a dangerous journey, but he could not stand idly by while a creature suffered in pain. With the owl's guidance, they began their ascent to the Shadow Towers. The climb was treacherous, the path steep and treacherous, the air growing thinner with each step. They faced treacherous traps, guarded by monstrous creatures, and battled through swirling mists that threatened to disorient them. But they persevered, their determination fueled by the dragon's plight and the hope of breaking the curse. Finally, after days of arduous travel, they reached the gates of the Shadow Towers. The towers loomed over them like monstrous teeth, their obsidian surfaces reflecting the moonlight with an eerie glow. Zaffre, sensing their presence, emerged from the shadows, his eyes burning with malice. "You dare to trespass on my domain?" he hissed, his voice like the rasp of dry leaves. "You will pay dearly for your insolence." A fierce battle ensued. Zaffre unleashed a barrage of dark magic, conjuring storms of shadow and summoning grotesque creatures from the abyss. But the Sandman, with his bag of magical sand, was a formidable opponent. He could conjure sandstorms that blinded Zafre, create illusions that confused him, and even summon tiny sand creatures to fight by his side. Nimble, agile, and quick, darted around Zafre, distracting him with his playful antics. Flit, swift as the wind, swooped down upon Zafre, pecking at his eyes and ears, causing him to flinch and lose his concentration. The battle raged on, a whirlwind of magic and mayhem. Finally, with a concerted effort, the Sandman managed to slip a handful of sand into Zafre's eyes, blinding him momentarily. Seizing the opportunity, Nimble leapt onto Zafre's back, biting down on his ear with all his might. The sorcerer, enraged, roared in pain and lashed out, but it was too late. The Sandman, seeing his chance, unleashed a torrent of sand, enveloping Zafre in a blinding cloud. The Sandman, seeing his chance, unleashed a torrent of sand, enveloping Zafre in a blinding storm. The sorcerer, enraged, roared in pain and lashed out, but it was too late. Zafre stumbled, his grip on reality loosening as the sand seeped into his eyes, ears, and nostrils. Nimble, still clinging to Zafre's back, bit down with renewed ferocity, causing the sorcerer to cry out in agony. Finally, Zafre collapsed, his magic extinguished, his body limp and lifeless. The shadow towers, deprived of their master's dark energy, began to crumble. The obsidian walls cracked and groaned, and the monstrous creatures that guarded them withered and died. The air, once thick with the stench of evil, was now filled with the sweet scent of pine and damp earth. With Zafre defeated, the curse was broken. The necklace, no longer bound by the sorcerer's magic, shimmered with renewed life. The dragon, alerted by the sudden collapse of the shadow towers, arrived, its eyes filled with hope and gratitude. The dragon, now free from the curse, thanked the Sandman, Nimble, Flit, and the townsfolk for their bravery and selflessness. He explained that his mother, the sorceress imprisoned by Zafre, had been trapped within the depths of the shadow towers. With Zafre gone, her magic would be released, and she would be free. The dragon, using his newfound strength, shattered the remaining walls of the shadow towers, revealing a hidden chamber deep within. Inside, they found the sorceress, her body weakened by years of imprisonment, but her spirit unbroken. Reunited with her son, the sorceress wept tears of joy. She thanked the Sandman, Nimble, and Flit for their courage, and bestowed upon them her gratitude. To the Sandman, she offered a gift, a small, shimmering stone that pulsed with an inner light. "This stone," she said, "contains a fraction of my power. It will allow you to amplify your own magic, Sandman, and bring dreams of peace and prosperity to all creatures." The Sandman, humbled by the sorceress's generosity, accepted the gift. He thanked her and bid farewell, along with Nimble and Flit. They left the shadow towers behind, the echoes of their victory fading into the distance. The return to Luster Vale and a new beginning. The journey back to Luster Vale was not just a return, but a parade of joy and celebration. The townsfolk, whose hearts were light with the dragon's newfound freedom and the vanquishing of Zafra's pain, prepared a feast like no other. They adorned the streets with garlands of flowers, and the air was filled with the scent of roasting meats and sweet pastries. Musicians played lively tunes, and children ran through the streets, their laughter mingling with the music. The celebration was in honor of their heroes: Sir Blaze, Lady Aurora, the Sandman, Nimble, Flit, and, of course, the magnificent Zephyr. The Sandman, now wielding the magical gift from a wise sorceress, weaved dreams into the very fabric of the night. With gentle whispers he brought visions of peace to Luster Vale. To the children he spun tales of magic forests, where animals spoke in riddles and adventures unfolded with each step. These dreams were filled with laughter, games, and the joy of discovery, igniting their imaginations for the days to come. For the elders, he crafted dreams of serene landscapes where time slowed, worries melted away, and every breath was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the warmth of a gentle sun. Even Zephyr, the dragon once known as Zafre, was not forgotten. The Sandman ensured his dreams were ones of freedom, of flying over endless skies, of feeling the wind through his scales, and of the love and acceptance he had found in Luster Vale. These dreams helped heal the last vestiges of his past captivity, turning his sorrow into stories of hope. Nimble, with his boundless energy, became the heart of the children's play. His acrobatic feats on the branches and through the town square were a sight to behold. He darted here and there, showing off his agility and bringing smiles to every face. His antics were a reminder that life, even in its most serious moments, could be filled with laughter and light-heartedness. Flit, the swift sparrow, took to the skies like a herald, her wings carrying the tale of their victory to every creature and every corner of the land. She sang of bravery, friendship, and the unexpected ally they had found in Zephyr. Her songs became legends, sung by birds across the valleys and hills, ensuring that the tale would live on. Zephyr, now the guardian of Luster Vale, watched over the town with a protective gaze. His presence, once a source of fear, now brought comfort. He would often descend from the peaks of Mount Lumina to share stories of his adventures, bringing with him not just tales but also treasures from distant lands, fruits that sparkled like gems, flowers that glowed in the night, and stones that sang when the sun touched them. His bond with the Sandman grew as each learned from the other, sharing wisdom of the night and the day. The Sandman, traditionally a creature of the night, found himself more and more captivated by the daylight, the laughter of children, the warmth of friendship, and the peace of Luster Vale drew him out of his nocturnal habits. He learned that true strength was not merely in the magic he wielded, but in the compassion he showed, the courage he instilled, and the belief he had in the inherent goodness of all beings. Thus, the saga of the Sandman, Nimble, Flit, and the magnificent Zephyr transcended from a mere story to a legend. It was whispered on the winds, recounted by the fire at night, and taught in the schools of Luster Vale. This tale stood as a beacon of courage, friendship, and the enduring power of hope. It reminded all who heard it that even in the darkest of times, the light of kindness, understanding, and compassion would always find a way to shine through, guiding hearts back to peace and unity. The end.